Before we analyze the charts, I do want to get into this article. It is coming from Investor Business Daily because it talks about Cathie Wood's conviction in Archer Aviation. All right, let's get into the article. Archer Aviation is a little-known electric aircraft developer, has drawn big investments from industry giants including Boeing and United Airlines. The company said it was working to revolutionize air travel, developing technologies that have drawn the attention from ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood, who purchased more than $30 million worth of shares in August alone. Its flagship Midnight eVTOL received its Special Airworthiness Certificate from the FAA on August 16th, which allows the company to begin test flights. Archer plans to begin its piloted for credit flight testing in early 2024 to obtain type certification from the FAA. Alright, so here's what I didn't know. On August 10th, Archer Aviation announced it secured a $215 million investment from Stellantis, Boeing, United Airlines, and ARK Invest during its Q2 earnings report. The additional funding brings the company's total to date to more than $1.1 billion. So ARK Invest not only owns shares, but she's a direct investor in the company. So that's pretty big. Company also reached an agreement with the Department of Defense, worth up to $142 million in late July. Archer expects to deliver up to 6 of its Midnight eVTOL aircraft to the U.S. Air Force in late 2023 or early 2024. All right, so the breakdown of Cathie Wood's bag. She loaded up on shares this past week, continuing to buying spree from August. So she started off the month buying more shares essentially. She purchased 233,000 shares yesterday, worth $1.48 billion. Archer shares were distributed among the ARK Innovation, ARK Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF, and ARK Space Exploration and Innovation. Earlier this week on Tuesday, she bought 42,000 shares, worth $264,000. Cathie Wood and ARK purchased about 5.18 billion shares, worth roughly 31 million shares throughout August. The largest purchase came on August 16th when she bought 2.69 million shares, worth 16 million. All right, so I was kind of looking at her transactions over time, and this particular chart has not been updated, but it appears she bought shares going back to 2001. At the time, she bought 5.74 million shares when the stock was trading at $9. But kind of odd. This is not in Cathie Wood's fashion. She sold on the way down. If you look at all her other investments, she's usually buying as price goes down to lower her dollar cost average. All right, so this only extends through July, so it does not include the recent purchases in August. So as of July, she owns about 10 million shares, worth about 58 million. All right, so now we're going to go to the charts. From the lows of December, you have this double bottom, you have this accumulation phase, which is nice. The price is up roughly 300%. This was the first barrier. This was at about $5. Have support, resistance, and you can see how price kind of came up to that bottom of the zone and pulled away, right, as again that area was serving as resistance until July, when it gapped higher and the momentum just took out this level here. So what became support resistance became support again. And you can see how for the month of August, price dipped its toes and back into the band and then shot higher. Ultimately, I have a short-term target at $10. Now let's go down to the weekly chart. You can kind of see a little bit better. The support resistance became resistance again, and then support again. Now these wicks going back to July signify selling pressure. So I have a resistance area at the $7.50 level, which it got hit at least once. Now I was expecting price to fill this gap, right? That's a very strong imbalance between buyers and sellers. But again, if you draw a trend line, you can see how price just continues to respect that trend line, which implies that there's just huge momentum to the upside, as indicated by these volume bars on higher than expected volume. Now the wicks that we saw in the weekly chart just imply price is just pausing potentially before the next breakout. Ideally what you want to see is price come down. You want to see price actually breach and close below the uptrend line. You want to see price breach and close below the resistance support band. This would all be what's called, I call, a bear trap. And you look at that volume bar, right? That's probably the highest ever. So between, say, $4.50, just say $4.05, that'll be a huge opportunity to get long if you're not in the stock and if you believe in the company longer term. As Archer Aviation believes, they will have commercial flight in 2025 in Chicago to start things off. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.